Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the CPS report, and today I'm doing my fight recap on UFC 295, Prochazka versus Pereira. What a card, what an explosive card. Very quick in terms of like how quick the fights ended. We thought it would be a longer evening or longer event, but everyone put on performances of their lifetimes and just, getting the finishes and just ending all the fights early. So let me start the recap of the main card with the opening bout between Diego Lopes and Pat Sabatini. Like I said in the build-up, I felt that Diego Lopes was going to be a little bit of a difficult puzzle for Pat to figure out, even though Pat has really good wrestling. His boxing isn't necessarily the most crisp. It's good, but it's not the most crisp. And I think Diego Lopes, he's got a point to prove coming into the UFC with such a good record and wanting to chase the title down from here on out until the end of his career. He's going to pretty much put on fight of the night performances to put himself in the conversation to challenge for the featherweight title. I mean, we know who the top dogs of the featherweight division is. So we will have to see what happens with Diego Lopes going forward. I think he had a fantastic performance regardless. Quick finish. Was a little bit of expected. To be honest, I thought maybe he would utilize a bit more jiu-jitsu based on like Pat Sabatini's game plan or his style of fighting. I would have thought maybe that's where it would have gone, but Diego being a bit taller for the division, got the max blessed build. I think his length allowed him to navigate the striking point situations of the fight, and it just worked in his benefit. Nice first round finish. Sets him up for a good next fight going into his future. I think maybe if you look at that division, you could potentially call out Arnold Allen. Maybe, we don't know, but we'll have to see. Regardless, I think he's setting himself up good for the future of the featherweight division. Moving on to the next fight, Matt Frevola versus Benoit, the God of War Santini. Good fight, very quick again. Would have loved to have seen it gone a little bit further so we can see a bit more of what these guys bring to the table. However, I know that Benoit Santini has got the killer instinct. He's got that finishing ability. That any fight he goes into, that's what he's going to look for. He's not necessarily going to look to just outscore his opponent. He's going to look to keep the decision in his hands and not put it in the judge's hands. And I think that's what he did in this fight. Would have loved to have seen match her up, have a bit more of the boxing going forward. But I think Santini's that killer instinct I'm talking about is when he comes into the fight, he rushes you down and he just makes the fight dog fight like straight up, which kind of puts the opponent in a position where they're gonna have to either weather the storm and stick to their game plan or throw the game plan out the window and survive and just strike back and then eventually, control the fight from there. And unfortunately, Matt didn't have that going into it. I think he just got overwhelmed by Santini's high press, high output, extreme volume, and landed a fantastic punch and just basically cleaned the fight out within 1 minute and 31 seconds. Big up for Santini. I kind of not predicted, but I didn't say it in the last episode completely, but I kind of felt it would have been his win just because he's in the better form at the moment. He's on the up, he's on the rise, and I think he's going to be a puzzle for the lightweight division going forward. One to watch in the future. Moving on to the featured bout before the co-main event between Jessica Andrade and Mackenzie Dern. Like I said in the previous episode, Mackenzie Dern had to key to victory was to throw short straight punches and then shoot for takedowns. Just get Jessica thinking about the wrestling, because Jessica knows that's where Mackenzie Dern's threats will come from, and then utilize it. Be very creative with it. I think Mackenzie tried to stand for too long with Jessica, and I think the longer the fight would have gone standing, I think it would have just moved into Jessica's favor, and it did exactly that. We all know that Jessica's power is almost light years ahead of Mackenzie's, because Mackenzie landed good strikes, she landed good straights, good straight right hands, nice jabs, but it just felt like it didn't do anything to Jessica. When Jessica landed her jab or her hooks, pretty much dropped Mackenzie every time it landed. I think there was four drops in that fight, I think, and yeah, what's not much to say really. I mean, Mackenzie had a shot, but I mean, Jessica being a former champion, having a lot of fights against champions, it just shows you the different degree of MMA champions versus like just purely jiu-jitsu champion. That doesn't, I'm not saying jiu-jitsu is anything or second to none to MMA. It's just MMA. There's so many more disciplines you got to think about in a fight other than just grappling. And unlucky Mackenzie, very good for Jessica and Raj. Hope that this sets her up for another title shot. If not the next one, then the next fight after that, she's probably got to get a title shot. Mackenzie, reset, go back to the drawing board, think about what happens when you're striking and your chin stays up in the air. Come back into the fight, into the organization again, and just have another shot at the title. Go again at it, but just go back to the drawing board with the coaches and rethink about what happened, where you went wrong in that fight against Jessica and Raj. Moving on to the co-main event. That's what happens when you have heavyweights go against each other. Very explosive and powerful heavyweights. It's going to be a lights out fest. It's very rare that you see high striking heavyweights go 5 rounds or even 3 rounds. They usually just end the fight within the first or second round. I would have thought that Pavlovich had the edge, being that he's longer, it's got a lot of power, and he puts some pressure on from the get-go. And for the first part, it looked like it was going to go that way when Pavlovich landed that clean right hand on Aspinall. But Aspinall's retaliation to that was really brilliant. The peeving and wobbling and get his face out of the position. The hands were a bit low, but he got away from almost all the strikes. I think Pavlovich only landed at 1 strike. And then Aspinall showed his speed. He showed his in and out movements was just immaculate, and it landed fantastic 1-2, and then a 1-2 again to drop Pavlovich, and they closed the fight out with hammer fists. Shout out to Michael Bisping for calling it and saying that Tom Aspinall is the one to watch and potential GOAT for the heavyweight division going forward, because he is young and he just took out one of the biggest threats in the division that sets him up nicely to fight either Stipe or John Jones. I don't think Aspinall should wait for John Jones, because it could be a potential, like a long wait. It's an unfortunate injury to John Jones, so it could wait for a very long time before he comes back. So to keep the division going, take Stipe on, or take on what I think would be the best fight for him would be Cyril Gane. And then pretty much then that will set up the division to see who's going to reign king for a long time. And I think Aspinall should definitely call for that fight, because his next fight has to be a unified fight. So big up for his really immaculate win, superb striking. He fought against someone who could have easily put him out, and I just think he did a fantastic job. Sergie, it's a big deal, it's a big loss, but he's not. I don't think Sergie is going to be falling off the rails. Yeah, I think he's just going to come back and then stay around the number one contender fights, and potentially set himself up for another title fight there. So big up to both fighters for stepping in on short notice and just put on a masterful class like that. Shout out Tom Aspinall. I hope that your reign's very long. I think you're a phenomenal fighter. So let's see what happens for the heavyweight division going forward. Closing off my episode with the co-main event between Jrir Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Hey, what a fight! Jrir Prochazka. I would have thought that he would have won the fight, just because I felt that he had a bit more tools going into the fight with the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. But I think that his game plan was compromised from the first leg kick that Powhatan landed. The first calf kick he landed completely swept Prochazka off his feet. I think that set the fight up from there on out. It was. I remember watching the fight with my partner, and I said, the moment I saw the leg kick landed, I said, Jrir Prochazka is compromised. I could see he couldn't step on his front foot, and I felt, okay, the fight is pretty much gonna have to be something else for Prochazka. And you could see that he was attempting to push the pace because his leg was a bit compromised, but it didn't really push Pereira back for too long. And even when he went on the back foot, he landed a bit more damaging shots. Because then going into the second round, I could see that Prochazka was thinking, at that point already suffered eight to 6 leg kicks. His game plan was already pushed out of the window of like, I got to go out this next round and just end the fight, because I don't think he could have lasted 4 more rounds after that with that amount of damage to his leg kick, because he could barely stand on it. And you could see that's the way the fight was going. Unfortunate exchange where it was quick in the pocket and a short left hook from Powhatan pretty much just ended the fight there, because then you could see after the elbows that he landed, there was a moment where Prochazka was out. However, I do think it was an early stoppage, because when he was going back, Powhatan landed in a full mount, but it wasn't a controlled full mount. It was a big scramble, and I think 2 more seconds, I think Prochazka would have scrambled, got up, but that's when I think that getting up, he would have taken an unfortunate amount of damage and would have lost the fight there. So I think good stoppage nonetheless. Even I think it was early, I think it was a good stoppage nonetheless, because I think the follow-up damage after that would have been really scary for Jrir. And I think that's also probably why Jrir had mentioned in his post-fight interview saying, in Octagon interview, saying that he felt fair stoppage, I was out. I do think that was pretty much the underlying sentence, the underlying meaning to that sentence is there was that if I had to continue, because he did say that his body was fighting back and he wanted to get back up, I do think that getting back up, he would have taken unfortunate damage there. So unfortunate for Jrir Prochazka, big win for Alex Pereira, because he stuffed the takedowns, he got back up to his feet and fought a good fight, man. It's going to be a difficult person to beat in the light heavyweight division. Do I think Jamal Hill comes back and takes that title? I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jamal Hill. I love his kickboxing. I love his boxing. But going up against an elite kickboxer in Alex Pereira, it might be a long night for Jamal Hill if he goes up against Alex and they just do an all-out stand-up fight. So please come back from that ACL injury and then come test your might against Alex Pereira, because now what's next for Jrir? He's gonna have to go back to the drawing board, reset, potentially take on Jan Blachowicz or Magomed Ankalaev, or he's going to have to wait in the ranks for Pereira to defend his title against either Magomed or Jamal Hill. For now, Alex Pereira reigns king in that division, and I think he might reign king for a very long time. That's my thoughts and my recap on the UFC 295. Wonderful card to watch. Good MMA, good display of MMA from all the fighters on that card. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for more content coming from the CPS reports. I love and enjoy the support. That's me. Take care. Be safe. Much love. Peace.